The sun is shining. Everyone's meeting here at 11 a.m. And we're going on the tour, which is the second year we've done it. We're basically going to Heveningham car ferry, and the mission of the tour is to get to the car ferry, get the cars two at a time on the ferry, cross the ferry, and then a big loop back to the hall. There's lunch, music, and madness over at Heveningham. So yeah, that's the plan. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. There's going to be P1 GTR, I think. The yellow P1 GTR with the paint. It looks like it's hit Shrek. It's like exploded on it. Yeah, it's going to be some crazy cars. Race cars, converters for the road, classic vintage cars, latest, wildest hypercars. There's going to be a mad mix of everything. The main thing is obviously the Suffolk countryside, the Norfolk Broads, and the chain ferry is going to be the big event. It's quite a crazy old thing, but you'll see when we get there. It's pretty wild. Yeah. Yeah, buddy, it's good. This thing is savage.
Stop your running about. It's time you straighten right out. Stop your running around, making trouble in the town.
I am here because I am a lucky truck driver. I am here to show to the Howie friends and Howie family love this car. And with this color now is love more this car. And no, because it's a funny car and his name on the near the windscreen, and I don't know why, but beautiful classic car and modern car. You have a lot of beautiful car, and I can't choose only one. I think it depends if you prefer very old car, you prefer a racing car, you prefer classic. It's very difficult. For me, I love racing car.
Stop your running about. It's time you straighten right out. Stop your running around, making trouble in the town. Rudy, a message to you, Rudy, a message to you.
Well, here this weekend we're in Heveningham Hall, Suffolk, and we put on, for the last 20 or so years, we put on a country fair. 3 years ago we decided, well, my mum decided actually to host or add to the country fair and create this concourse of cars. And what we tried to do is we tried to put together 50 of the best cars in the world with the right selection between pre-war, post-war and modern day supercar. So we include all the younger guys who are not so interested in the pre and post-war cars. They get to come and see these amazing modern day supercars, and it brings a whole nice eclectic mix of people into the show. So that's what we're doing here, and this is our 3rd year, and as you can see from the cars behind me, we've got the most stunning collection so far this year. I think this year we've trumped the last 2 years, but we've made it harder for ourselves next year. But it does take a lot of work. We try to place them so you can see them all at once. We've luckily enough have these sets which were designed by Kim Wilkie 20 years ago, and we didn't think of this when we designed them. I get asked that a lot, like, oh, it's the most amazing way of displaying the cars. Did you have this in mind? It was like, no, we never had this in mind. It just happened like that, and luckily enough, we have these. It's hard to get the cars on through the lollipop trees, but we get there eventually, and yeah, we literally just finished. Loads of owners, they come to an event, they put their car in place. It's good fun, you know, it's a nice mix, and variety is the spice of life, as they say, so yeah, that's what we do.
So we all astray, there's nothing else to do. In another place, I see a different view.
just arrived today, there is an enormous amount to do at the fair. It's just to remind you as well, the Heveningham Country Fair has all of its proceeds going to local charities, enabling it to make donations to schools, clubs, not to mention village halls and churches from their trust fund. So all the money raised today at the fair does go to local charities, and it's also all the fair staff are all volunteers that you see around the fair today. So everyone is helping to raise money for local charities.
The country fair is huge. You know, we expect to have 10 to 15,000 people over the Saturday and Sunday. It's a two-day event. It started off as a cake sale on a Sunday afternoon 20 so years ago, and it's grown into a two-day massive event, 10 to 15,000 people. And we've got the Wall of Death, we've got a bungee jump, we've got speedboats on the lake, we've got planes coming in as well, we've got plane concours as well, so we've got some Spitfires coming, some huge events in the main ring, some, you know, and we've got arts and crafts, we've got tractors, we've got dog shows. I mean, there's like everything as a country fair, and then there's this as well. So it's a beautiful mix.
Wall of Death is the oldest motorcycle stunt show in the UK. It's 90 years old this year. It really is quite something.
Funny costume, how dare you? This is my Wall of Death riding circus attire. We're about to go Wall of Death riding. A Wall of Death is a circular drum that you ride around the bottom of it, and when you get enough speed up, you stick to the outside, and as long as you keep going, you stay stuck to the outside of the cylinder. The G-forces in that thing are crazy. You feel the blood. You can actually go fast enough to G out, and you have to slow down, and you start to wilt away. I've done this before. I'm not a professional, but I can ride the Wall of Death. But this is going to be my first public show, and yeah, fingers crossed.
They have 50 of the most spectacular cars, pre-war, post-war, modern supercars, the top cars of their league. They're displayed on the Capability Brown terracing at the back of the house. It is well worth going to see.
The Heveningham Hall Country Fair. It's been running over 20 years now. It's grown and grown and grown. In the last 3 years, this is the third year, we have the Heveningham Hall Concours d'Elegance, and this is the third edition, bigger and better than before.
One of the cars in the lineup, which is widely regarded as the world's first automobile, that's a Benz patent motor wagon.
A lot of these cars don't have great stories, but they're amazing cars themselves. So it's a mix, you know, take it or leave it. I personally am purist. I just love the cars for being the cars. And the history isn't so important to me, but some people love the history. And then we've got James Hunt's car, we've got Senna's, we've got Hamilton's, Button's, Ripken's, and then we've got, you know, Nick Mason's 250 GTO. I mean, it's crazy. It's actually, and we've arranged them all ourselves, so it's been like a boyhood dream.
McLaren have allowed us to exhibit 7 of their McLaren F1 cars. That is quite exceptional. So if you haven't seen that already, I do urge you to go to see cars you won't see anywhere else.
If the weather stays like this, then yeah, it's going to be amazing. Between 10 and 20,000 people turn up to the fair. Yeah, see what the numbers come out at the end of the weekend.
the three categories, pre-war, post-war and modern day supercar. My brother Max is the head of the judges. So I'll leave it up to him. We'll see who wins. I don't know. I mean, there's so many potential winners. We'll have to wait and see.
A very clever Vichy general got hold of it. While the war was on around him, he was having a lovely time driving this around because no one was bothering him in Vichy France. He shipped the car to America in hoping to follow it. It only got as far as Argentina, and the car was then impounded, and Howard Hughes's RKO film studio bought it.
Wow.
And then it was used in an American in Paris with Gene Kelly. They painted it green. And then the bit I love about it was some guy at RKO was due a settlement in his pension in 55, was it? Yeah. He said, rather than take the money, I'll just take that car out there, this thing. So he got this as part of the settlement from RKO.
Amazing. That's a great story.
It is a good story.
And it's true.
Wow.
And it's true.
Down. Oh, everything closes so nicely.
So this is the last year, the ultimate development of the 962. So these have got electronic wastegates.
I don't know. If we're going to give a special mention now, I don't know. It's such an iconic. The Metro 6R4 was. Let's have a look at the Lark car.
Yeah. It's a beautiful. I think the C-Type's nicer.
Yeah, I do.
Where's the C-Type?
It's nice.
Yeah?
It's a beautiful shape. Do you know whose this is?
And 918 and GT1. Post. And then. Well, they said it couldn't be done. They said last year was too good. They said it would probably rain all weekend. And they said Mrs. Hunt had lost her touch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Heveningham Hall Concours d'Elegance. There's only one winner, and most people agreed on this, and we were unanimous in deciding that the Delage was the winner, and it was so incredibly sold. So yeah, round of applause, please. And the two fantastic gentlemen who were representing the owner are both here tonight, and they really sold us the car. So if you'd please make your way up, we'll present you with the prize. In chronological order, the post-war category, it was Nick Mason's Ferrari GTO, which was just one of the things that really swayed us on this from the others. Is Nick got the car out, drove it off the terrace, lined up, first 1 horsepower hill, full gas, and then just sent it up the hill and through the woods, and that was truly impressive. On behalf to accept the award for Nick, I believe Tim Boughton is stepping forward. So please, round of applause. Again, it's very easy to say, oh, it was so difficult, but for us, this was really, we thought really quite easy. The winner by a long shot, 50% because of the owner, 50% because of the car. But either way, the Porsche 962 in the Rothmans colours. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Henry.
I don't know if you can hear me over the sound. Well, we've got a 1971 Chevrolet Camaro. This is currently raced and driven by, as you can see on the side, Ollie Bryan. He's in the car now. This is the AMG GTR. Porsche 918 Spider coming around the corner.
Fashion, look at that number plate.
We've got a time from the Porsche. We've got the master of disaster himself. It is Harry Hunt in his 2018 Citroen DS3 rally car. This car is actually faster to 30 miles an hour on gravel than a Formula 1 car on a track.
Oh my God.
I think Harry wants to win.
Yeah.
10.73, so he's currently top of the board.
Who's going to beat that? Do you think this will?
This is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. This has been tested against the best. It's an absolutely fantastic looking car. It still hasn't been cleaned from the Modena Centauri, so it's still got, these are original Italian flies on the front of it.
It's good to go!
Was a Bugatti Veyron Vitesse Supersport, and that did it on our leaderboard at 9 seconds, 0.46 was the winning car this year.
Harry was entered in his rally car and put down a storming time, at which point Max then runs off, finds a Bugatti Veyron, as you do, and then obviously destroys the leaderboard and proclaims himself the king.
Harry was very, very confident that if he brought a four-wheel drive 2008 World Rally car, that he might win. But unfortunately, his older brother, in standard sibling rivalry, wouldn't let him win, and then awards himself the trophy, which is given out in a prize giving.
I said, you're not going to take the trophy. And he's like, damn right, I'm taking the trophy, I won.
He won, and what he did,
winning's winning.
He announced his younger brother would be giving out the trophy, and then stood next to him to receive the trophy in a very controversial trophy and prize giving, which I don't think Harry was over pleased about. But that's it. You're here to win. You're not here for anything else. You're not here for friends. You're not here for family. You're here to win. You're here to get up the hill.
Thank you very much. I'd like to hand over now to Harry, who is going to announce Horsepower Hill.
I didn't know about this, but here we go. Horsepower Hill, invented by my brother, Max. Which came up, also I think slightly rigged by him. Anyway, so we have this beautiful trophy by Lawrence Edwards. I don't even know the results. No, I do, I know I lost. So, the winner, well, in third place was the Aventador, which was amazing, but illegal tire warming, I heard. And then me, unfortunately, in second. And then my brother Max pulled out the big guns, and he did it in the world speed record Bugatti SS, which I think was a bit unfair considering I was in a 1.6 turbo. I don't know, but that was a bit ridiculous. So Max, come collect your trophy. You're a beautiful man. Let me give it to you. Here, catch it. Well done, you really deserve it. You really worked hard for this. Thank you. Stand in front of me. I'll get above you. Here you go.
I've been cruising on the town now. The guys
Ladies and gentlemen, this event was created and run just like the fair by Lois Hunt and is put into motion, and she is the brains and the brilliance behind this whole thing. She truly is an incredible person and an incredible lucky mother as well. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please can we raise a toast and a huge thank you, round of applause to my mother, Lois Hunt. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the party, the music, and party on.